Welcome to Feelings and Other F Words. I'm Dr. Daryl Appleton, and this week my children are home from school. So you know what that means, right? That means I'm doing exactly the same amount of work, but just with 2 3-year-olds running around causing havoc. So this episode's going to be a little bit different. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like we each have our strengths, right? When we go into a social situation or a social setting, or maybe we don't, but I feel like everybody does. My social strength and my party trick, so to speak, is fun facts. I love a fun freaking fact. Okay, so this episode is dedicated to all of the fun facts that I have hoarded over the years in my metaphorical / maybe literal binder, but I'll never tell. So this week, I haven't dug into any of the research necessarily behind these. It is just literally things that I've heard in passing, that I've jotted down, that I wanted to share with you all, because who doesn't love a fun fact? And if you don't, you're lying to yourself. And maybe at the end of this, I can convert you and you'll be like, one of those fun facts was actually fun. Now, first things first, your brain actually starts lying to you before you finish a thought, which I think is wild, because studies actually show that we subconsciously edit our memories in real time, as we are engaging in them. Meaning the version you remember of anything is slightly fabricated, and it's a slightly different version than what actually happened in real time. Even as you're listening to this, how you're interpreting it, how you're remembering it is actually a little bit different, which also goes into fun fact number 2 of we don't see with our eyes. There's a visual delay, and it's like 15 milliseconds. What we think we see now actually happened a fraction of a second ago. So not only are we not remembering things the right way, we're not even seeing them in real time. Like, what is even life, right? And you might be like, okay, fine. I'll hit you with another one. We can smell fear, even if we're not conscious of it. The studies are wild, and people can detect the sweat of somebody who is afraid. They've done like blind nose. That's not it. Blind smell test. That's better. That's better. And people can actually pick out a person who was sweating, who was afraid. That's insane to me. And not only that, we actually start to react as if we were afraid when we smell the sweat of somebody who is afraid. It's like your friend like taking off running and you have no idea why, so you just run after them because like, I'm not going to be left behind here, right? That, which I also wonder, again, haven't looked it up. I also wonder if this is something that goes into like why people who are socially awkward make other people nervous, or why people who are really anxious, like they say like, other people sometimes don't want to be around me, whether that's true or not. Like, I wonder if it's based in this like smell thing, this fear, this scared sweat. Again, I'm ideating. I have no idea. I have to look it up, and maybe I will. Also interesting, our body will misfire and actually make it feel like our phone is vibrating, which I'm not shocked with, but I was shocked that it has a name, phantom vibration syndrome. And it's because our nervous system is so adapt to micro sensations. Like, we are actually like the touch of a loved one versus the touch of our friend versus the touch of our child. Like, we can tell who's touching us. Like, I literally know, eyes closed, blindfolded, no hearing involved. I bet you I could tell which twin was touching me without me touching them, literally, because we are so in tune to like micro sensations. Like, that makes sense to me. Also, people with higher emotional intelligence are better at lying. That's right. So all those people out there like bragging about their EQ, their high emotional intelligence, they might be out there manipulating other people. And research shows that people who can read the emotions of others well are more skilled at manipulating them. That also makes sense to me. Again, these aren't like, oh my God, fun facts, but they're fun facts. This one you might not know. The human body glows. Not that we can see it with our naked eye, but with certain cameras, we have a faint bioluminescent glow. And it peaks at 4 p.m. every day. Why? I don't know. Again, I need to look it up. I don't know. I just have the fact. I need to just place it there at your lap like a cat dragging in a dead bird for you. Do what you want with that, but there it is. This one I like. You can be allergic to exercise. It's a rare condition. And I'm laughing because I'm like, is it? Am I allergic to exercise? But it is something that actually will cause anaphylaxis and trigger an allergic-like reaction to people who exert themselves too much. Again, I don't know anything else about that other than you can be allergic to exercise, which sounds like a fair excuse. There's also, and you might know this, a medical syndrome of broken heart syndrome. You can die of a broken heart. It literally, the stress causes the heart to change shape under emotional duress, and you can die of a broken heart, which makes sense to me without diving into the research and validating any of this. So some of these might be wrong. Again, these are fun facts I found in passing. I'm collecting them like a mosaic to put together a whole picture, but I might be wrong. I can see, though, how dying of a broken heart with everything we know about stress and what stress can do to the body, totally. We also know on like a pain index scale that like death and divorce and moving your house are also like way high up on like the pain stress index scale for sure. For sure. Your stomach also has a second brain. There's so much research out there about your like gut health, and this is kind of tied into this. Your gut has about 100 million neurons that actually can function independently of the brain, and science is linking this to gut feelings, among other things. But I think that's like wild, right? Like that intuition, like I'm not thinking with that full, prefrontal cortex, executive functioning part of the brain. Like I'm feeling it with my body, that visceral reaction. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's also, again, I don't know this for sure. I've seen things about it. I haven't gone to like the hardcore journals, but another fun fact is your thoughts can actually physically change your DNA. I mean, everything we've heard about, like, I don't know, us living in a hologram makes sense to me. Yeah, mindfulness and positive thinking have actually been shown to lengthen telomeres. I might be saying that wrong, which protect DNA from aging. And it like changes it a bit. So for those of you out there who are looking for the next beauty trend, it's mindfulness and positive thinking. Yeah. There's also a planet where it rains molten glass sideways. Yep. This one I heard at a party. It's not mine. These are handed down. These I've collected on my travels, friends. The planet HD 189733b has such extreme weather that it actually experiences like 5,000 mile per hour winds, and it rains glass. So Mars doesn't seem that bad. I mean, it's not that bad. There's also this theoretical dark galaxy made entirely of black holes. Now again, a lot of these are going to be space related because I grouped them together. And these came from a 15-year-old boy who is in my family. I mean, do what you want with that. So like, I trust him. I think he's amazing. I think like, absolutely. Yeah, so there could be, or there's a theoretical dark galaxy made up of all these black holes. And these astronomers suspect that galaxies exist where all of their mass is in these black holes. So like, it's just like endless gravitational pull after gravitational pull. Do I know what that means? No. Do I like the idea of a dark galaxy? No. Am I fascinated by it? Yes, absolutely. There's also a fun fact that the moon is actually slowly leaving us, and it drifts away 1.5 inches every year. The moon is trying to exonerate itself from us. And in about 600 million years, Earth will no longer have total solar eclipses because the moon will be too far away. It's leaving. It's going. It's gone. So I guess maybe we do Mel Robbins it. We let them. I don't know. The color magenta doesn't actually technically exist. Our brain invents it. And we blend red and blue light because there's no actual wavelength for magenta. So we could also be seeing different versions of magenta because our brain is interpreting blue and red. Sorry, red. Yeah, red and blue. Yeah, wild. We also had another moon briefly. Back to space. We had a second moon, and it was thought to have crashed into the Earth about 4.5 billion years ago, which potentially, allegedly, formed our current moon and maybe kickstarted life. It might have been part of that Big Bang. There's also a giant cloud of alcohol floating in space. Sagittarius B, near the center of the Milky Way, apparently contains enough ethanol, alcohol. Isn't that the same thing? Ethyl alcohol? My notes are all kind of messed up. To make 400 trillion pints of beer. I can't even fathom that. I don't even know. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so maybe that's your St. Patrick's Day fun fact, that there is a cloud of giant alcohol floating through space. Again, you don't even need to explain yourself. Just leave it at someone's door. Proverbial mental brain door. Leave it. Let them do whatever they want with that. This one we all know, but the second part's interesting. Trees can talk to each other, and they use this underground fungal network, which, you know, it has a name. It's called the Wood Wide Web. I love that. And trees can actually warn each other of danger and share nutrients with weaker trees. Like, trees are better citizens of humanity than we could ever be. It also can send messages about different types of bugs that are in the area and change its chemical makeup to like deter certain bugs and animals and stuff like that. I mean, like, I'm trying not to go on tangents because I'm trying to keep this short and sweet, but like, how wild to think that all these things around us that we just kind of take advantage of or take for granted are like wildly smart. Like, smarter than some people I know. I don't know. Bananas are technically a fruit. Sorry, bananas, you know that. Bananas are a fruit. Rewind. Bananas are technically a berry, but strawberries are not. The botanal, is that how you say it? Botanal? I don't know. The definition of a berry means it must come from a flower with one ovary and must have seeds inside. Strawberries don't fit the criteria, but bananas do. Also, tomatoes are a fruit, and you may know that, but my favorite quote that I saw in a bathroom stall of an Italian restaurant in New Jersey, and I use it all the time in sessions, are: knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it into a fruit salad. So do what you want with that. You're welcome. If you removed all the empty spaces in an atom, all humanity could fit together in a sugar cube. Apparently, atoms are 99.9999999% empty space. So if you truly compressed everything down to its true mass, we would all fit into a sugar cube. Like, that stuff, I can't even compute. Like, it's a fun fact because I think it blows other people's minds. It doesn't blow my mind because I can't even process it, right? Like, I can't even process that on some level. This one I can process, and it like freaks me out because I think they're aliens. But octopi can edit their own genes. They can rewrite their RNA on the fly, and they can literally adapt to extreme conditions without the need for evolution. Like, also, octopuses are fascinating. The fact that they can like fit inside a jar and then open said jar, they can like go invisible, they can like change shape. Like, holy hell, how are we not more taken with an octopus? I don't know. But I do know you can literally die laughing. It's called fatal hilarity. And people throughout history have suffered heart failure or asphyxiation of some sort from an uncontrollable laughter. I remember one of my friends in high school, I think, like, sent me a card, and I wish I still had it, but it was like on the front, it was just like a cartoon, like from the New Yorker, and it was like, Sarah literally died laughing. And it's this like poor person, like this poor stick figure, like on the ground. But I thought it was hysterical because we used to joke about that all the time of like, oh my God, I'm dying. That's hysterical. And it's like, Sarah literally died laughing. But yeah, you can. And guess what? Your bones are constantly dissolving and rebuilding. Every 7 to 10 years, you pretty much get almost a new skeletal system because your body recycles old bone cells. Same thing with like your skin. You have like different skin on you every 7-ish years. Again, don't quote me on the actual numbers. So like if you're wondering about like metamorphosis and change, like literally, cellularly, you are not the same person you were a decade ago. Let go of that, man. You don't need to keep going back to old patterns. There is a type of jellyfish that is biologically immortal. And I'm sure you know this, but it can revert its cells to an earlier stage, making it effectively immortal under the right conditions. And like scientists are like hardcore studying it to see how we can be immortal, which I don't know if I would want. You know, Jimmy and I talk a lot of hypotheticals. This is what keeps us up at night of like, would you be a vampire? Would you want to be immortal? I don't know. I don't know. Because like there's a lot attached to that. Anyway, I digress. What do you think? Let me know. Shoot me a DM. Put it in the comments. Wombat poop. Yep, shit. Wombat shit poop is cube shaped, and it's actually an evolutionary change to prevent feces from rolling away. And it helps the wombat mark its territory more effectively, which has to be incredibly painful to come out. But again, leave it. I'm leaving it with you. You do your research on it. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. And every 2 minutes, I will leave you with this. This is the final fun fact. Every 2 minutes, okay, 2 minutes, humans take more photos than all of humanity did in the 1800s. That's like, that's wild, which it makes sense, right? Like I'm not like that makes sense, but yeah, thanks smartphones. We literally snap more photos every 2 minutes than the entire 19th century combined in 2 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I hope these fun facts are something you can have burrowed inside of your brain like I do mine, and you can infect somebody else with this nonsense. Because isn't that the point of fun facts? Isn't it? At your next party, at your next gathering, at your next whatever, I want you to pull one of these bad boys out. And if you have a fun fact, I need you. I have a whole bunch more, but I wanted to keep it to 25 because that felt just unhinged enough without going into a full spiral or having you guys, send somebody to my house to check on me. If you have a fun fact, you need to send it to me. Memes and fun facts are my love language, so please send them my way. With all that, check in on me anyway, actually. Hopefully we survive this 2-week vacation off of school. Why do we have it? I don't know. But hopefully we survive, and I will see you next week on another episode of Feelings and Other F Words. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff for more F words and apparently unhinged fun facts. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.